Oh, hey, Hijinks Nation. You're right. It is early, but it's always a good time for a mule. And mostly, I'm having a mule because I'm having a really big problem. And Jesse can relate to this with live streaming my DJ sets. They just keep getting shut down. And that's what we're going to talk about today is the live streaming of DJ sets. I put a lot of work into making those playlists and doing a little mixy mix, and they just don't work. And, Kyle, I know you haven't live streamed yet, but we're going to talk to you about it, and Jesse's going to give you some advice. And I'm not pointing any fingers, but, whatever. Jesse?
Well, first of all, it never works when you point fingers because you always point in the wrong direction.
No, I actually tried this time. I thought about it.
Back and I edit this, and there's just no way to fix it. So if you pointed the wrong direction, I'm sorry. I know I point the right direction.
Up.
But no, we're talking about live streaming today, specifically like to social media, to different platforms. And, it's kind of a struggle as a DJ because some of the issues run into is copyright infringement, the legalities of if we're allowed to play it, if we're not allowed to play it, if there's money involved, blah, blah, blah. So if you're not familiar, the live streams became really, really popular when the quarantine happened, the coronavirus quarantine. Nobody had anything to do but stream their DJ mixes. And so everybody goes live on Facebook, live on YouTube, at-home dance party. Some did it very successfully. Some got shut down every 5 minutes and had to restart their stream. Well, the reason for that, because there's algorithms, which are computer codes built into different platforms to detect copyright infringement. So that's really the trouble. Joe, did you ever get shut down on one of your streams?
So I did get shut down. I still don't know why I got shut down. I don't know what song it was. But I think there was a song that I played that I didn't have enough changed in it, enough remixed in it. And I think that was probably the song that got me shut down. I want to say it was Senorita or South of the Border, something like that. And it wasn't remixed enough. I got a notification that I had been shut down. Not a huge deal. I just started it right back up, but I thought I would be fine because usually when you remix something, the algorithms don't catch it because there's a different beat behind it. It's in a different key. It's sped up. It's slowed down. It's got syncopated hi-hat in it or something like that. And the algorithms don't pick up on it for that reason. The problem is when you play something that's not remixed, it's easier to pick up because it sounds like the radio. So that's, I think, when I got shut down because I played one song like that. Granted, I was 37 minutes in or something, but it sucks. It's tough because, like Jesse said, with the quarantine and everything that had happened, and it sucked because I was trying to, still practice, still stay fresh, still all of that, but you get shut down, unfortunately, by Facebook. Now there are other platforms. Hopefully, that we can start using Instagram, maybe YouTube, but YouTube has some of the same algorithms, if I'm not mistaken, right, Jesse?
Yeah. So actually, most of them do. Instagram is owned by Facebook, so therefore, they use the same technologies, the same everything. YouTube is very strict on their copyright, whether it's a DJ mix. Or if you film your kids running around and you edit the video and maybe you put a Disney song in the background, YouTube isn't going to like that. So this doesn't just go for DJs. This goes for any music that you put online. You do not have the permission to put that online, technically, legally speaking.
Yeah. Kyle, have you ever had anything flagged or taken down? I know you haven't mixed live, but
no, I have sometimes you do the, recording different sections of a wedding reception or something like that,
Sure.
A send-off song, or maybe you just have a really hype song where you got, 99% of the guests that are there out on the dance floor, and so you want to catch a video of it. Sometimes those have been flagged by Facebook and they're like, hey, you don't own, we can't do this, it's copyright. So those sort of things have happened to me. It hasn't been in the live setting. Unfortunately, despite the quarantine, the whole thing, I still had a whole bunch of stuff going on, so I wasn't able to do that. But it's something that I want to do in the future because, hopefully I'm DJ full time very soon. And so it's a great way to get your chops and keep up and, get better. So it's something I want to get into. It's just, I got to figure out the right thing for my time. So,
yeah, I want to go into depth on these algorithms just a little bit I reached out to a lot of different DJs. We did a lot of different little experiments. And so the algorithms are actually there. People tend to think that, oh, Ellie or Bruno Mars, I hate you because you don't want me to play your song. That's what they're thinking. And that's not the case. I'm sure all these artists, they want you to play their songs as much as possible. What it is the record companies that actually produce these songs, they get money every time. If you listen to the radio, if an AC/DC song comes on the radio, AC/DC gets a couple cents every time that song is played. And there's companies out there to protect these bands that make sure they get paid. Well, these companies also watch other platforms. So what's happening is we play a song. Facebook uses like a Shazam. It's an auto detection. Same thing. There's like apps you can get on your phone that you can hold to the radio that'll tell you like what song it is. So Facebook is using a program like that to detect these songs. And what's that one called, Kyle?
Shazam. Yeah, now you can see us all recording too. But
so Facebook actually is protecting themselves. So Facebook is a website essentially. And if copyrighted material is on their website, they could get sued for it. So all of us DJs out here posting all this music, blasting it to their website, they're saying, hey, we don't want to get sued. We're protecting ourselves. So they've got a very effective program that detects these songs to protect themselves. So it's nothing about the artists wanting to sue you or if I was an artist, I would want every DJ in the world to be playing my song so people heard it. So don't get mad at the artists. Get mad more at the companies out there that protect the artists because they want their share of the money too.
Yep.
So Kyle, you said you've had like random videos shut down. Do you know, like, they weren't remix songs? They were probably just radio versions, weren't they?
Yeah, they weren't any sort of crazy redrum or remix or anything like that. Most of the time it's, like a Piano Man at the end of the night that you're playing, or,
Sure.
If you're just playing stuff like that, is generally stuff that does. So yeah, that's the one that I've been pulled.
Gotcha. So speaking of live streaming, I know, Jesse, you and I have talked about this a lot, is how do you bring that professionalism? It isn't just setting up your iPhone in the corner and focusing it on you. And, some guys are doing that, which to each their own, but I know you and I both use some different softwares, I should say. For instance, I use OBS, which OBS allows you to basically make a TV screen of whatever you want. So you can have different cameras. For instance, I have my DJ software streaming, much like you, Jesse. We have the same kind of setup. And then a camera over my decks to see what's going on, and then a camera on me, of course. But you can set that up different ways. What are the benefits, I guess, of using OBS compared to just setting up your iPhone in the corner?
So it all comes down to production value. I mean, quality. Do you want to listen to somebody, if you pull up a YouTube video, do you want a full production sound? Do you want a full good bass, good highs? Do you want that sound, or do you want the sound of somebody setting their phone in the corner and recording the sound coming out of their phone?
Right.
So first of all is sound quality. We can import our DJ software directly into this software, so it's perfect quality, and it's also direct. So therefore, you're not hearing me click on my keyboard. You're not hearing people scream in the background. You're not hearing me cough. The sound is direct. So people like that. They can also put it on, maybe their home theater speakers, or maybe Bluetooth it to their car while they're driving, and it's a really good sound quality. Secondly is video quality. You're streaming live on a social platform. People are pulling it up on their phones. Do they want to watch a cell phone video propped in a corner in your basement? Or do they want to watch a production? They want to see, maybe it is your DJ software, something they can watch. Maybe it's your hands on the turntables. But at that point, it's a learning process. They're watching what your hands are doing. Maybe they're trying to figure out, okay, he looped that section of the song, or this is how he did that, or this is what that knob does. So somebody that's curious about DJing would be really interested to see kind of the behind the scenes.
Kyle, do you have, so far, I know, like I said, I know you're kind of new to the whole live streaming thing, but anything that we've said as far as OBS or why we use that or anything like that, do you have, I guess, questions about or anything like that?
No, I've used and kind of been around OBS a little bit. Like when we initially started doing this, we were looking at using OBS, so I downloaded it, kind of played around with it a little bit. So I think it would definitely, once I decide to start going and being able to DJ live and do mix sets and stuff on Facebook, potentially some other platform, not sure yet. I think that's definitely the way I would go, because I think Jesse's right. And again, it's not that anybody else that's propping their phone in the corner that they're doing it wrong, but you do get a more immersive experience if you're doing it from the other ones. Like the times you guys have gone live, I've seen what you're doing and things like that. And there's some others that do it. Some others that do it still get a ton of views and a ton of people like it. They really enjoy what they're doing because it's another way to kind of break up that monotony of what was going on, which was fantastic. But that was really nice to be able to, because I did do that, Jesse, with yours. It was one of the first ones kind of during the quarantine that I really watched for a long time. And so I airplayed it to my TV, and we all just kind of had a little dance party in our room. I turned on the surround sound. And my daughters were just dancing all over the place, having all sorts of things. But then because I'm the nerd, I was just like, okay, well, what's he doing? Like, how's he looping that? Okay, he did a roll there. Okay, nice. That was a really sweet use of a roll. Oh, really? He did that section of the song. I would have done maybe this section, So like that was the nerd stuff that I was doing with it, but they were still having a great time just dance around and doing everything. So,
well, and I think it's cool, like you just said, it goes out to a lot of different types of people. Like you said, there's a dancing crowd, and then like I moderate Jesse's comments, Jesse moderates my comments. So when I'm watching Jesse, I'm like, oh well, yeah, he did that. Or like, oh, he's looping. What's next? Like, I look at that stuff. Or like Jesse last night, I'm not going to have, Becky from, the church that I went to when I was growing up message me and say, hey man, you killed those transitions last night. Like, that's not like that doesn't, she doesn't appreciate that. Where Jesse was like, hey man, you transitioned really well tonight. But like, so it goes to a lot of different people, which I think is super cool. I think it's a good idea. I think live streaming, and it keeps us fresh during this downtime. I like mixing back and forth, much like Jesse, mixing back and forth between the songs and, doing it.
Well,
would you say?
One thing that I'm watching in all these live streams, and it gets me thinking, these other DJs, a lot of them I know very well. The guys that don't take the time, they don't have to do it just like we do, but take just an hour maybe and do a little research on how you can just get better sound quality. if they're not doing that for a little live stream, what are they doing for their business?
Right. Exactly. And I think there's ways, like we've always said, the way we do it isn't the best way. Kyle, no matter if you're talking about lighting or sound, or Jesse, you're talking about lighting or sound, neither way is the best way. It's the best at what works for you. It's how you want to portray yourself. We talk about that a lot, and there's a lot of different options, and there's a lot of different ways to do stuff. And a lot of questions, much like this next segment, which we call Rapid Fire.
Rapid Fire.
I always do terrible at these. I'm going to get the siren. I just know it.
All right. We're back again. Just to bring you up to date, if you haven't been here before, this is a segment called Rapid Fire. I'm going to shoot these guys questions. They've got to answer it off the top of their head as quick as they can and give me no explanation at all.
And if you give an explanation, you get the siren. So don't get the siren.
All right. So we're going to start this off with, let's see. Let me look. Yeah, we're going to start off with Joe.
Ooh.
Joe, rapid fire. Do you believe in fate?
Yes.
All right. Kyle, what's your favorite number?
3.
Interesting. Okay. And this is the question why I decided Joe went first. Joe, why can't we tickle ourselves?
Because our brain is wired to not receive electronic signals that stimulate the tickling nerves inside of our own atomical body.
We have tickling nerves? Oh, geez.
He probably Googled that too.
Doctor.
He's been known for Googling in these segments.
Doctor.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle. What does a person need to be happy? Oh, come on.
Purpose.
Oh, purpose.
All right. Joe, what is the best age?
21.
Oh, I disagree.
That's a
No,
super
I
wrong
disagree.
answer.
I
But
disagree, but I can't go back. I already had started with 20.
You-
Oh, I did it. I did it to myself.
Kyle,
65.
is double dipping at a party ever acceptable?
no.
Yeah.
But that's a great episode of Seinfeld.
Joe, sourdough or wheat?
Question for you. Whole wheat or imitation wheat?
Push the siren button.
Off the top of your head, bro.
Sourdough.
Good choice. Kyle, this is a cuddling question. A baby panda or a baby penguin?
Baby panda for sure.
I know I made you nervous by saying the word cuddle.
Yeah, I was like,
I can't see Kyle cuddling a baby panda.
Just nestling it in his arms. Joe,
Mhm.
would you want to live forever?
No.
And last one, Kyle, how many pull-ups can you do in a row?
0.
All right.
I am not in the best shape of my life right now.
That's it for rap.
Just being honest.
Jesse, how many pull-ups can you do in a row?
I bet I could do 5.
Oh.
Challenge extended.
I think I could do 5.
How many push-ups? In a minute.
Me?
In a minute.
In a minute.
Me? Who?
Both of you.
Push-ups in a minute? I could at least do 3.
I'm going to say 25.
25?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could probably do 20.
Okay.
15 or 20, somewhere in there. I don't
Okay.
want to go crazy.
Just asking.
but for sure I could do 3.
Don't make me prove the pull-up thing. All right.
Well, maybe
Call that.
tune in next week, guys.
So, I just ordered a pull-up bar for your office, so
Yeah,
I'll
Sweet.
be there.
yeah, we'll be over to install it.
Well, let's get back to this.
Okay, so what I'm going to ask for you guys, so you guys have been using all those different software. You know, we talked about OBS. There's some other ones out there.
Lightstream,
I think we took Lightstream, vMix, Streamlabs, different ones we talked about.
Yeah.
But was there any sort of special like hardware that you guys had to buy to go with the stuff that you had, like that you went out or ordered or anything like that to, you know, stream better or?
Well, so first of all, I want to just say something about OBS. Okay, OBS is kind of a special software. It's called an open source, which means basically they produced this software and stuck it online free for anybody to use, which is super cool because OBS, it's way too nice of a program to be free.
I would pay for it.
It's very powerful. So it's really cool that it's free because it's an amazing program. So to your question, when it comes to the hardware, no, I personally didn't have to purchase anything extra. I found a way to run out of my mixer into my laptop and do everything that way. But depending on what kind of computer you run, I'm running on a Mac. I haven't tried to stream off of a Windows computer. But I do know a few DJs that are streaming. They're using an audio interface called an iRig. And an iRig can actually be used from your phone as well. I know somebody that uses their phone and they stream to an online radio station with their, they run out of their mixer into this iRig and it plugs into their phone. And it's, it's a cheap, I think it's like a $30 little box.
Oh.
Pretty neat little deal.
That's kind of cool. We talked about also, Jesse, because in OBS you can make different transitions to different scenes with different camera angles, or the screen might look a little different. We talked about like an HDMI switcher, a controller or something like that to switch in between. So that's not required, of course, but it could help. Definitely, it'd make your transitions maybe a little bit easier. It'd be like a MIDI touchpad almost. Is how I see it.
Yeah, so it's not it's not an HDMI switcher. It's a USB interface that basically would control the OBS or whatever software you had. You would program each button to do what you wanted, so you wouldn't have to be on the computer so much. You'd have a external little box with buttons to where you could change scenes and do different things.
Which would be super cool to have. I don't know that we stream enough or anything like that, but I know some gamers have it. I have a buddy that streams on Twitch, and it's more or less the same thing that he says that, or that he uses one.
Yeah, there's these little things called like a Stream Deck that you guys could use too.
What's that, Kyle?
A stream.
So Stream Deck, you don't have to just use them for streaming. It's just a little kind of MIDI controller that you can plug into your computer, and you can make them do whatever you want. I know some people use them like in video editing. They use them as little hotkeys kind of a thing, to pull up a certain transition or a certain clipping tool or, stuff like that. And you can use them for whatever. Like if you're a gamer, some gamers use them. They click this and it changes their camera angles and does all that sort of thing. So they're pretty cool.
That's exactly what we were talking about. That's the one that I've looked at is the Stream Deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't looked at that yet. I'll have to. That might be kind of interesting to.
Yeah, they're pretty neat. And I mean, they're not cheap, but they're not crazy expensive either.
Yeah, that's cool.
Looks like they're about $130, $140.
Which if you streamed all the time or you were always doing that, it might be kind of cool to have. I mean, if they ever got it figured out that you could stream your mixes all the time online, I might look into buying one.
Right.
But I don't know that it's necessarily worth it, so to say, for as much as we use it.
Well, and that's kind of the other thing, we were talking about the platforms before, you talked about your Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, But there is the one, like you were saying, with like Twitch streamers, you could, if you really wanted to get into it and really wanted to do it a lot, is that something that you guys think could really kind of take off for somebody? Could you do a Twitch stream?
Here's the problem with Twitch. Twitch was created by gamers, for gamers, for games. They actually have in their fine print that it's not for DJs. They specify that. They might be a little lenient for a little while, but eventually I think they're going to crack down on it because all under the same regulations that Facebook would, and they don't want to get in trouble either. Also, the problem with Twitch, even if they keep allowing DJs to use it, so Facebook's very interactive. People can comment, like it, the hearts go everywhere, all that stuff. Twitch, for one, if you don't have a Twitch account, which most of your viewers won't, unless they're gamers, you can't comment, you can't interact. You can watch. I've also had a few friends streaming on Twitch. I follow the link on my phone. It wants me to go to the app. As soon as I get to the app, I can't find their stream. And it's just.
It's not as user friendly.
I don't think any DJs are going to get a good amount of viewers on Twitch. I think they could go on and stream by all means. If they want engagement, if they want to reach a lot of people, I don't think that's going to be the platform to do it.
Sure.
I wonder if like Mixcloud or whatever that is, I wonder if they would ever offer video. You know what I mean?
And I don't know how Mixcloud gets away with the copyright stuff. Like
I see them more falling under like or like SoundCloud falling more under like the Spotify, I guess.
Well, but Spotify has to pay their people. Like,
right. I don't know. I don't know.
They pay like 0.0039 cents a player or something like that.
I just wonder though if they would ever move to offering video services, if that would be a feasible route.
I think that would be hard. What would also be kind of interesting with Mixcloud is if you could do some sort of live stream of just even your audio, so maybe you wouldn't get the face-to-face interaction, but potentially you could do, where people could write in comments or something like that might go to a server or a messenger service or something like that. I don't know if that's ever going to be a thing, but I mean, that would be cool. And it's something that when we were kind of talking about this and going through, you can also stream on Twitter. So, I mean, if you're wanted to try a different avenue of doing that, potentially you can do something there too.
Yeah, it's worth it.
I don't know that it's as easy as it is on some of the other platforms, but it didn't look terribly hard when I was looking through it.
I don't think it's as interactive. Like Jesse said, I think Facebook really is going to be the most interactive possibility. I think that will always be the case just because of what Facebook is designed to do. I don't think you're ever going to replace that or get away from that.
Well, I want to leave everybody on a little tip, a little trick that we've kind of figured out. So for all you DJs out there wanting to go live, wanting to stream, the trick that I've found is not to play enough of the song for Facebook to recognize. Remember, Facebook has to recognize the song for it to get kicked out. So if you mix fast enough, if you remix enough, if you redrum, if you do maybe some EDM or trap edits, kind of look at it as a challenge. See if you can trick Facebook, and it'll actually help your mixing abilities as well. It'll get you to mix fast. It'll get you to transition quick. See how long you can stay live before they really slap your hand. So that's the tip, guys. Remix it, edit it, mix fast. Don't let them recognize it. That's what I got. Have fun streaming, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, share. Check us out on Facebook. We'll see you guys next week.